said you ask them, you kind of probe them until they tell you what's wrong, right? You said the
Well,
person.
no, because sometimes they won't tell you what's wrong, and that's I opened the door. I gave you a platform. Whether you choose to speak on it or not
Okay,
is up to you. Yeah.
you
That
gave them
part.
the platform, but what if they are? I'm the complete opposite of how I was brought up. So Ken and Barbara usually brush it under the rug. That was the 70s and the 60s. You didn't talk about it. What happened in the home stayed in the home. Y'all remember those sayings?
It
Mm-hmm.
stayed
Um,
in the home. You didn't talk about it even in the home.
Correct.
Right.
If it happened in the home, you didn't. I'm sorry. She's trying to make an appearance. I apologize.
Oh.
With that being said, what if they don't have the ability to articulate? No. If they don't have the ability to articulate what's wrong with them, and
Okay,
it's,
Right.
I'm good, I'm good, I'm good.
Right.
How do you get your
no,
platform to
you know
blossom?
what? Okay,
But
so
that's
the inability. Hold on, I'll answer that. The they're not capable of articulating their feelings. Then you basically have to meet them at their level. Find something that is simple for them to basically break something down. Easy. Like for instance, they're not capable of articulating verbally straight up about something, but they can talk to you about a movie or song or shopping or hair, God knows whatever. You make that segue into whatever it is that they're interested in, and then you say sports. Great analogy with the jersey. Go with that. Talk about sports, and then at that point, leading into other things, and then you get to that
mm-mm.
thing. No, no, no.
Miss
Okay.
Jordan, can you give us the guidance, please, ma'am?
Risa, were you gonna say something? Your face
I
is saying a whole
just
lot of something.
trying to probe somebody. I'm the type of person, if I've told you I don't want to talk about it and you keep probing me, you're going to push me further away to just
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
want to open up about anything because I maybe need that space to process whatever I'm going
Yes.
through and let me choose when I want to tell you what I want to tell you
Right.
because you can't force somebody to tell you anything. And so if you force that, you may push them away.
Right.
Or
Because
you may be opening up a door for something that you weren't ready to accept into your life and may
right.
mess up your whole energy. Because you now, whenever you open that door, when people be like, "Oh, how are you doing?" Your immediate thought is, "Oh, they're just gonna say I'm good and keep it moving." What if you open up that door and now they done spilt a whole
Mm-hmm.
can of beans on you, not a whole rest of your day messed up because somebody done spilt their traumas on you?
Do you guys feel like we as women we do that though? We're like the problem solvers. What's wrong? You all right? You good?
Yep.
You
Yeah,
okay?
of
Yep. Yep.
course.
Yeah, because men don't do it. Men don't
But
do
a
it.
lot of that comes from
Mike,
trauma,
I
though.
needed you to give a pause before you said yes so quickly. More
A
towards the
lot of
ladies.
that comes from trauma because, and even when you, and Mike and I have talked about this before, like a lot of times you hear people talking about how they're empathic, how they sense that, energy has shifted or people are in this weird space and they can feel it. But that is a learned thing based on trauma. In my household, it was not safe. And so I had to learn to be hyper vigilant to people's emotions. I had to be extra sensitive to what other people were feeling because that determined whether I need to run and hide or I'm safe in this space and I can be myself, right? And so as feminine beings, we are more in tune to that stuff. We are natural nurturers. So between that and the trauma we already had, yeah, if anybody is feeling some kind of way, it's like, oh, I noticed you're feeling some kind of way. What's going on? I had a partner and he was all kinds of bad energy, just doing all kinds of craziness. And I was like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And he was like, I'm fine. And I was like, well, you don't seem kind of fine. This is what I'm seeing. And he was like, I just said I'm fine. Why you gotta do that? And I'm just, okay, I'm just gonna, obviously not fine, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. And that goes back to what Risa said, like pushing people when they're not ready to talk about it. People saying they're fine when obviously we know they're not fine is another way of saying, I am in this space that maybe I can't even tolerate. And I just want to be in this space by myself, whether it's because I need time to process or whether it's because I need time to wind down. But I need my space. And in those situations, all you can do, you've created a platform, they've chosen not to accept that platform. All you can do is hold space for them. These are the things that I've noticed. These are the symptoms that I'm seeing. This is what behavior I'm picking up on. When you're ready to talk, I'm here.
Okay.
That's really all that you can do. Because if you
Simple.
keep on pushing, just like Risa said, you're going to push them right out the door. And if you don't say, these are the things I'm seeing, then you're not giving them the opportunity to have self-awareness. Because they may think, and this is like with that same partner, I'm having a bad day. My emotional energy is spewing all over the place. So I'm just going to lock myself in the basement. It's not going to impact anybody else because I'm locked away in the basement. Mm-hmm. No, you're locked away in the basement. But when you come up, we feel the tidal waves of all your craziness. So I need to tell you, whatever you're doing is not working. And give you the opportunity, like Risa said, to go sit down and process. And when you're ready, I'm letting you know we're going to have this conversation, but when you're ready. And you can say whatever it is you need to say.
I apologize. Have you ever run into demasculating a man when something like that happens? You know what I mean? Like, do you worry about their pride in that moment? Let's say it's with their partner, and you're like, clearly you're not ready to talk about this. When you're ready to talk about it, come and talk to me. And that's what you do with little kids too. Have you ever seen that study before?
Because in that space, they are literally like little kids.
Yeah. How do you avoid from hurting their pride in a sense? Like you're in timeout, go to your room type situation. Do you see what I'm saying?
Risa, were you going to say something?
I was going to say personally, I've dealt with this with a partner, and I feel like when I can tell that something like, you're saying you're okay, I know you're not. Let me just put that disclaimer out there. Like, if you feel comfortable enough to discuss it with me, I'm here. Right. I don't have to make commentary on what you're discussing with me. If it just needs to be for me to be a listening ear, I can be that for you. And I want you to feel that I'm a safe space to be able to do that. So I kind of leave it at that kind of open door, like whenever that is that you feel comfortable to discuss, you can.
And that's exactly right. And that's exactly what I was referring to when I'm saying holding space, because a lot of times people feel like, okay, you're feeling some kind of way, and us talking about it needs to be a two-way conversation. But that's not the case. I am here for you. I'm providing a safe space for you to share what you're experiencing, to process, or to tell me the results of what you've already processed. But again, for me, like, and you brought up the whole, the idea of demasculinizing. For me, it's allowing them to recognize you're in a safe space, even when you feel unsafe. And yes, that is sometimes how we talk to children. But a lot of times when people are triggered, that's where they revert back to that inner child. And you just need somebody to nurture you, or to provide a space for you to be nurtured. I'm not going to lecture you. I'm not going to belittle you, but I am going to let you know that I see you and I'm here for you. And so if that hurts your pride because you were raised to believe that you're a man and you have to shoulder it on your own, well, that's some reflection that you need to be reflecting on.